Hello and good to see you. Once again, I am glad to be your messenger and God bless you. I would like to talk about something or someone called the influencer. That person that leaves a mark and creates a precedence for a certain thing or niche in the environment that we live in that can be emulated for worthy cause. This word influencer has been thrown around so much that everybody that does something that is outside of the conventional is christened an influencer. Influencer, the word influencer comes from the word influence, which is basically the act of populating or drawing people towards something. Now, popularity is the act of drawing attention or creating a sense of belonging to a certain clique, hence drawing people's attention towards something that appeals to their sensuality, creating a sense of belonging or adhering to a form of mental conditioning that is built upon a theme. An influencer therefore becomes that person that is able to build a certain level of attractive attention towards themselves or an activity, creating a particular penchant or an unusual kind of liking towards the person or the activity, be it a hobby, a talent, a topical issue, a practice, politics, religion, spirituality, or whatever it might be, creating a certain level of interests from people, attracting groups of people, individuals, either drawn from a certain class or population, and sometimes from a broad spectrum of origins. And so, an influencer attracts a group of people, individuals who are interested in what they represent because the influencer in some cases becomes a role model of some sort, an expert an expert in their niche or their area of specialization, and so they become like a role model of some sort in whatever they choose to do. They become like a reference point to a certain level. They become a vantage point, a marker of certain standards in an area whereby people see them as representing a wide range of emulatable behaviors in that area. And so an influencer can build or destroy depending on the level of hold that they have on their followers, and also depending on the ability of their followers to gauge them on a scale of behaviors and their ability to create boundaries based on the fact that human beings are infallible and can never be perfect. The only one that is perfect is God. Now, it is very important to understand that human influencers are human and they do make mistakes. They do fall short of our expectations. They do sometimes behave in a manner that does not represent the ideal, which specifically points at a set of ethical standards and procedures that define what is right and what is wrong. And one of the major sets of ethical markers of such standards and procedures is the biblical mandate. And for a child of God, it is very important to adhere to God's word and to weigh matters based on the biblical mandate. The Bible is a sure guide that is based on the truth of God's word. God being the the maker and custodian, the creator and custodian of truth and knowledge that is based on the fact that he created all things and he has got the best interests for all creation, and he knows the ultimate goal and value of all that he created and what he has earmarked it to be. And so God knows what is happening with men even behind the scenes, and is judge overall. And so before you hold any human as your role model, you must first of all hold God as the ultimate, because men do disappoint and let us down. And so it takes a deeper understanding of men as divine holders of the placeholder of an influencer. I know that we all have a list of people that we see as influencers in society in different areas and at different levels. We have influencers at different levels: family level, community level, society level, national level, and even at the world stage. There are people that we know that have set precedents in certain areas and have been able to leave a mark in those areas, either because they did exemplary work that affected that area, or they have done things that have changed the way we see or do things related to those areas. We have them in music, religion, politics, art, science, innovation and creation, technological advancement, you name it. But there is a programming that belongs to men of great influence that emanates from inbuilt knowledge placed by God on the inside of them. However, the character of men, their behaviors, inclinations, experiences, orientation, both physical and spiritual, are shaped over time by upbringing, religion, surroundings, relationships, associations, belief systems, exposure, and education, among other factors that are undeniable and which determine the type of a person one becomes. And so the achievements of a person and their behavior can be so contrasted against each other, so much that it would be very difficult to reconcile them. And so it is very key today to be mindful of those, because a lot of times we have followed people without truly understanding who they are and their unique internal composition in terms of their social and spiritual values. I don't know if you have ever witnessed a situation whereby you followed a person, or you considered a person an influencer for a considerable period of time, and uh, this is specific to Christians. So you have followed a person for a considerable period of time and held everything about them with so much high esteem, only to wake up one day to news and reality that is contrary to the expectations that you placed on them, or news that is contrary to the kind of picture they display out there of who they are. For instance, you held a person in high esteem as a great spiritual person, a family man, a man of God, only to wake up one day to news of them living a life that suggests that they are immoral and that they live a life that is based on lies. And now that affects you in a way that either causes you to lose trust in men, or in a way that helps you uh, to see things from a different perspective, all based on how well you are able to understand and learn from the kind of outcome that disappoints. Now, to this effect, I want to talk about a spiritual influence that is based on Bible principles and the Bible perspective of the same. God has called us to be influencers in many ways wherever we may be, and especially if you are that person that is called or chosen by God for a purpose and for a reason that is beyond mere human understanding. In Jeremiah 15, verse 15 to 21, Jeremiah goes before God with a petition about his persecutors, and God's answer is this. In verse 19, he answers Jeremiah and tells him, if you return to me, I will restore you so that you can continue to serve me. If you speak good words rather than worthless ones, you will be my spokesman. You must influence them. Do not let them influence you. And so, there is a pointer here at what Jeremiah is expected to do, and he is expected to trust in God, which is an assurance that God always responds to our genuine allegiance to his will. And so he responded to Jeremiah in respect to his behavior towards the people who were persecuting him, trying to wear him down, trying to bring him down, distract him from serving God. And he is even telling him that his communication style towards those people matters, that he, God, expects him to communicate with them in a manner that is civil, composed, mature, in order for him to appeal to these people and attract them and cause them to accept God and to serve him. The last part says you must influence them. And so there is a responsibility and an expectation that God places on our shoulders as his children, that of influencing others into believing in him. And so our communication style with others, even if they are our enemies, matters. I have recently learned that I don't have to answer back to every provocation from certain quarters, because some people are just who they are. They thrive on toxicity and trying to bring others down. But how you respond to them will have an effect on how they see you as a born again Christian, as a child of God, and how they are gonna move forward with that from that point with you. And it might especially open their eyes to the fact that there is something different about you because of the fact that you serve God and you behave differently, you speak differently, and you respond to situations and their toxicity differently. If you read Proverbs 15 verse 1, it says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And so your words as a child of God matter, and they can actually change the direction of certain matters and determine certain outcomes. Influence is power, and so it should be very intentional and directional, and it should represent Christ in you. There are many ways through which a child of God can influence others in a manner that is objective, including their character, living out the word they teach, walking in faith and wisdom, among others. All these represent a very key aspects in our work as co-workers with Christ. However, the times we are in today demand that we have a good understanding of the fact that we have a good understanding of the fact that it all begins with you having a sincere heart in your relationship with God, based on the truth of His word. An influencer must never diminish others. They must never put others down. In fact, they ought to look at everyone in the eyes of Christ. Christ being the only emulation that we have. Sometimes influence may come from unexpected quarters. However, no matter where it comes from, we must learn to judge if it is the right kind of influence. And how do you know an influencer is the right person for that title? It is through their work, their faith, and commitment. Now, here are some of the qualities that anyone that is called to be a kingdom influencer must possess. If you read first Thessalonians 2:1-12, you will find these qualities there. Number one, an influencer must be someone that depends on God and has been helped of the Lord. Number two, an influencer must be someone who is able to withstand strong opposition. Number three, an influencer must be someone that speaks with authority from God. Number four, an influencer must be someone approved by God to be entrusted with the gospel. Number five, an influencer must not be people pleasing, but must please God only at all times. Number six, an influencer must be someone that does not use flattery. Number seven, an influencer must not be hypocritical. Number eight, an influencer must not be greedy. Number nine, an influencer must not be a seeker for people's approval. Number 10, an influencer never asserts authority unduly or unnecessarily. Number 11, an influencer must be loving, caring, and delight in sharing even their own life. Number 12, an influencer must be someone that is capable of enduring toil and hardship. Number 13, an influencer must be someone who engages in meaningful work in order not to be a burden to others. Number 14, an influencer must be holy, righteous, blameless. Number 15, an influencer must deal with children as a father does. And lastly, but not least, an influencer must be encouraging and comforting to those they influence. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have learned something from this. God bless you so much wherever you are. Be on the lookout for more of these messages. And God bless you so much for your support. And thank you. And shalom. Peace.